And you're listening to WNYO on 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. My name is William. This is DJ William for Will's Fantasy Hour. Welcome, everybody, to what I hope to be another fantastic program. Yes? Yeah. Okay. So, joining me in the studio today is Paul Emerald.
Sup?
Ben Skillman.
Hello.
And
I will be called Alan.
Alan. Okay, cool. Awesome. Glad to have you all here. Let's begin with today's topic. So, children. They're the middle level...
Let's begin with today's topic. Children.
It disturbs me that you laugh at that.
I didn't even get to the joke yet. Okay, ready? Here it goes. Children. They're the middle evolution in the human Pokemon line. First, you have babies, and then they evolve at level 9, like bug-type Pokemon, which is cool. And they evolve into children, and then the children evolve at level 18 or 21, depending on regional variants, to adult.
Okay, I buy that.
Okay.
And then there's Mega Evolution, which is Grandpa.
Yes.
Grandparent.
It mega evolves into... Well, wouldn't it just be mega adult?
Mega Adult.
I mean,
Old man sounds so much better.
I kind of see just like you mega evolve into your midlife crisis.
Must buy sports car.
That would be exciting. Okay.
Nah, old man's definitely like Mega Evolution because you can steal things and be like, oh, I have Alzheimer's.
You
Special defense just clocks
mega evolve into a midlife crisis because you get a motorcycle and become normal steel type.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Funny pun.
Oh, a normal steel type. That would be interesting. Are there normal steel types?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh, because that sounds like something that would do. I've always wanted to create a Pokemon that was like a steel poison type, because then you get the benefits of having steel for defensive measures, and basically you can just wait out your opponent as they succumb to poison, and you just stand there and watch.
When you said that, when you said poison steel type, what came to mind was the drug needle Pokemon.
Oh, God.
But okay, I was imagining just some sort of rusty, oozing pile of liquid metal.
Actually,
I'm
I think
imagining a syringe.
I'm trying to remember. I think Alolan Grimer was maybe ground poison, which is pretty close.
Dark poison.
Was it?
Dark poison. Dark.
Yes. Alolan Grimer, a.k.a. the Play-Doh Pokemon.
AKA the true Grimer.
Really? Why would
Yes.
you call it the true Grimer?
Because if you watch Dorkly, there's a video with the normal Pokemon meet the Alolan Pokemon, and the original Grimer's like, why are you rainbow? And he goes, because I'm one with my true self.
He's so brave.
That is brave. All right. Anyway, children. So the point I was trying to make before is that there are a lot of children that end up being the main characters in your movies and your films and your video games.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can agree with this. Why is this the case, though? Why do you think it's the case?
Because they have optimism, and it's like, hey, we can do whatever we believe we can and put our hearts and mind into it.
I mean,
That's a good idea. Optimism is definitely
Because think
a
about
key
all the
part
games
of
you
it.
play an adult, you always start off like, wow, life sucks.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
I was going to say that in a lot of especially young adult fiction, the books I used to read, the heroes would be, pretty young, 14, 15, 13, something like that. And when I was around that age, it was kind of nice to have the heroes of the books I was reading be my age. So it was kind of inspiring, maybe I can accomplish something.
Mm-hmm. Demographics are also very important. Paul, you got any ideas?
I think because it might help the show a path of growing sort of stuff. Like how in It, how they come across the Pennywise clown and then just and then it's that symbolizes them growing up, getting not being afraid of their fears anymore, and just getting together and just beating up a clown, which is what I do every Tuesday.
Beating up a clown?
Yes.
You know what? You gotta
You do you.
I mean, who knows when that murderous clown trend is going to come back? You got to keep those clowns in their places.
Yeah. I ain't about no murderous clowns.
I also feel there's more sympathy toward younger characters, because when they're an adult, you're just well, it's the older generation's responsibility to sacrifice themselves if need be for the younger ones to survive.
Yeah, and you're probably a jerk if you're an adult character. There's at least one person who couldn't look at you and just go, "Oh, this guy's just such a terrible person." I don't like him.
And there is a lot in with underage heroes. There's usually an adult character who says, "Ha, I'm not going to listen to you because you're too young," and then the kid saves the world and kind of shows them to be like, "Ha, take that, adults."
Yeah, you're stuck in your ways, but we can still change.
Yes,
Yeah, actually,
Which is also a big, I guess, appeal to a younger audience.
Yeah,
Or if there is an adult that can appeal to the younger audience, they're the mentor figure, and they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a one character, like actually in Fallout 3, you start off as like 18 years old. That's like when you leave the vault and then just start going out. So you're an adult technically, but you're like, people are like, you never seen much experience out here. Meanwhile, you're just like, boy, I just killed 5 rad roaches with a BB gun.
And I just murdered a lot of my authority figures growing up on my way out, so take that, wasteland.
So-
I'm already a murderer.
I'm also emotionally distressed. My girlfriend's now enslaved, and my dad is missing for some strange reason. Literally nothing has happened. Good is going for me.
I never knew my mother.
Stress level 99%.
Wait, was it established that in Fallout 3 your mom died
Oh,
right
yes.
after you were born?
Yeah. She died, I think, of complications of giving birth to you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played Fallout 3. I don't remember.
And then Liam Neeson is also your dad, which is kind of neat.
Yeah,
I
I know.
love it.
That's weird. Which,
And he also is okay with the fact if you nuke a city.
Yeah.
Very true.
yeah, no. Also, given his later career, I think it's funny how your dad goes missing and you're the one who goes after him. Whereas after Fallout 3 came out, he did his whole Taken movie thing where he's the one going after the child who went missing. And I'm just like, okay, this is funny.
Have you guys ever heard that joke of the evolution of the Fallout games by Bethesda? Like that era?
No. Would you care to share it?
I would love to. So, in Fallout 3, the main quest is basically, hey, where's my dad? In Fallout 4, it's like, hey, where's my son? In New Vegas, it's like, hey, where's that guy that shot me?
Yeah.
New Vegas
Way
is made
less
by
altruistic.
Obsidian. I just love.
And
it's
it
like,
was
hey,
amazing.
It's like standing on top of Binky the dinosaur. Who shot me? Where is
Honestly.
he?
Honestly, that's the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite jokes about the Fallout is the courier, the lone survivor, and the lone wanderer all sitting in the bar. The lone survivor says, "So I was inside a dead guy's brain." The lone wanderer, "Where did you get who gave you these? It's like, what drugs were you on?" The courier, "Where can I find them?"
Honestly. Courier's out of control.
The
Yeah,
courier's
no,
out of
he's
control.
insane.
It's like, "So I helped bring back peace to the land with the Brotherhood. I unfortunately had to sacrifice my son. Independent New Vegas, baby! Woo-hoo!"
Honestly.
And let's not even mention the Lonesome Road, where you get access to a literal nuclear missile.
Technically multiples. You can do bad by a lot of people.
Exactly. And then I get in the situation like, oh no, I guess I have to launch a nuclear missile at someone now. And they're like, well, there is actually a shut-off button. If you I guess I have to launch the missile now.
It's like, what's that? The button's broken. I need to launch both of them. Oh no!
It's like the button isn't broken. It's just oh no! You look at
Hits
that.
it with a wrench. Oh look, it's all broken on the floor.
Oh no, this is terrible. So many people are going to die.
It's like you are literally the devil incarnate. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well, in Metal Gear Solid, it's funny because if you launch the nuke, you because there's a metal piece that gets stuck in your head at the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah.
That just becomes a legitimate horn, and you're covered in blood, and you cannot get rid of it.
I thought
my
that was an allegory for being Satan.
Yeah,
also there's a mission we have to rescue a lot of kids, and if you just shoot them instead, you also become instant evil. I think.
which
Right.
happened to me because it doesn't explain going into it's like, hey, you're fighting a bunch of kids. It's like, hey, there's a soldier right there, and and I shot it thinking, oh, he's just a regular guy. And he was a kid and accidentally shot him in the head.
Oh, well, no, you didn't accidentally.
it's a hard
You shot him in the head on
life
purpose. You
for
shot a
us.
child on accident.
I was gonna say, out of all the places you could shoot a child, I think the head is your best bet.
Well, okay.
I mean, disproportionately the largest target.
Yes. Also, I don't think you want to shoot them in the arm or the leg and miss and be like, oh man, I missed. Oh no, that's a child.
Well, at least they were alive. See, but
Son of Face
in Metal Gear
McShooty.
Solid, if you just wait a little bit, they walk it off. They rub a little dirt on the bullet wound, and they're like, we're good. If you shoot them in the head, they're down.
Plus, if you leave the children, they'll come back for vengeance, and that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Have you
So,
ever
like-
seen that one video? It's like, boss, you just shot a child. Amazing. That's why you're the best.
No, I've
'Cause
never
it's
seen
As
that.
it cuts, it's like a 5-second before the mission ends sort of thing. So if you just shoots a child, and it's like, boss, you just shot a child. Amazing. That's why you're.
Oh,
the
because he
best.
finishes the mission and gets the post-mission screen or something.
It's like the post-mission
Yeah.
thing. But before that, he shoots a kid.
Yeah.
Snake did it
Jeez.
right. Not only did he beat up all the children, he later was like, it's terrible what they're doing to these kids. because we're not doing it to them kids, so we're going to take them instead.
You don't get to beat up the children and exploit them for labor. Only I get to beat up the children and exploit them for labor.
Exactly. It's because like
diamonds.
video games like Metal Gear Solid make me laugh because it's always like, oh, these bad guys are doing something bad because we're not doing it.
I can't believe you would exploit the youth, take over this militant country, and explode innocent people without me.
I can't believe you would stoop so low as to take advantage of this demographic that we're not taking advantage of yet because we didn't think about it.
Like, you are never the good guy in Metal Gear Solid. It's literally like, you have a giant robot? Well, we wanted it first.
Yes.
So we're going to blow up your giant robot because we don't have one, and that's not fair.
No, what's worse is we're going to steal your worst giant robot to beat up your best giant robot.
This Metal Gear Sahelanthropus. That was its name.
Philanthropist?
Sahelanthropus.
Sahelanthropist.
I think that's its name.
Sahelanthropus, something like that, yeah.
I
should be called Metal Gear Petty.
Yeah. And also you fight it on your legs and you just see it and you're like, oh no. Dude, how do I do this?
Just throw enough human misery at it until it goes down.
No, I just kept calling my helicopter. I was like, you deal with that.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. An actual line from that video game.
Yeah. Which has been memed to death.
Also something I
love
said a lot playing through The Division over the past few weeks.
The Division?
Yeah.
the first division or the second
The
division?
first one.
Why would you do that?
Because the plan was I bought it, and my brother-in-law had also recently got it. So we were going to play through it together and at least have some fun, doing co-op. That didn't happen. So when I got like 10% into the game, I was like, wow, I don't want to continue this.
That's the appropriate reaction.
But then I beat it to spite myself and the game because I paid a whole $8 for it and I was going to get my money's worth.
There's this one meme where it's like about guns in video games, and I remember the Division's like, this is a gun. It fires damage at least 8,000 bullets DPS. However, all the enemies are bullet sponges. Have fun.
That's basically the division, yes. I would like to take a moment while we're talking about exploiting children to talk about all the children that have been exploited in some of our favorite materials for a minute.
Also, I would just like to say that was an excellent transition. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Okay, let's talk about Kirby. I know what you're thinking. Kirby? Is he a child? Technically, yes. He is 6 inches tall. He is 1.5 years old, and he eats planets.
I don't think that's exploiting. I think that's just him being a monster that we should fear/worship.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not saying he's the eldritch god of hunger, but
His origin was what? He was the Dream Eater's worst creation.
He was the sole survivor of a planet of Star Warriors until they introduced Meta Knight. And yeah, he's the sole survivor. And then he crash landed on planet Popstar, and he just eats and just destroys everything in his path.
also with how terrifying he is at 1.5 when he's literally just a child, only being a hero because the bad guys happen to be the one that made him mad. Mm-hmm. Like, when that abomination grows up and is an adult, he's probably going to be terrifying.
Can he grow up? Like, when you think about it?
I mean, they do, I think, specify in some lore somewhere that he is just a child. So hypothetically, if you are a child, you will grow up.
Well, I know in the TV show it was like, no, he is a straight up child.
Yeah, no, he is.
Okay, the next child, I guess, in the media.
Well, there's a lot of choices. I decided to bundle together, like, pretty much 90% of all anime protagonists.
That's fair.
Yeah, yep.
Most all of them. There are so many. I had trouble making an entire list of them, but it makes sense when you think about it because most anime protagonists are like teenagers and like 13 to 16-year-olds, and that's the point in your life when you're trying to figure out really who you are and what you're supposed to do with your life.
And sometimes you just get sucked into another video game world.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or sometimes you just got to be the prince of sports ball or whatever.
the
Prince of Tennis.
The Prince of Tennis.
Monarch of sports ball.
Yeah.
My new manga.
Yeah. Oh.
My only thing with like animes like that, it's like you have a young kid and they're super talented, but how talented are they? Because they go up against like people who you claim are rare, but you never actually see what an average person looks like.
That's correct. Yeah, that's weird.
So literally, we just have a bunch of Mozarts, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, one of my favorite shows called Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. You know he's weak because at the first episode he's getting beat up by an average person, and you can only see the progression and you see how far he actually becomes compared to the others. However, most shows aren't like that, and it's literally because they don't take the time to show what other people are actually like.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's one anime that I watched some of called Hunter x Hunter.
Ooh.
And actually towards the beginning of that, they don't put the characters on a scale of like normal people, but they put them on a scale of like relatively extraordinary people.
Yeah.
By like the first story arc where they're like taking this like exam to become like a hunter or whatever and be a cool hero. And so it's like these kids are like at the youngest I think like 12, and they're beating out
they
like
start
adults
off
who
at
have
11.
been 11. So like, and they're beating out people that have been training their whole lives for this. So it's like, okay, they're really good.
Yeah, you may have been an assassin for 25 years, but you can't beat the power of magic, rock, paper, scissors.
Oh yeah.
Killa was like he's been an assassin all his life.
Oh yeah, and everyone in his family is an assassin.
Yeah,
One of
and-
which has the ability to is a tiny girl, which grants wishes, but will also make you go.
Yeah, well,
If
there
you
are
fail.
rules to that.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
there are
like you
rules to
can't
that.
be a selfish loser.
Exactly, but also the squishing noise I just made.
Oh, was that?
squish?
Oh.
I squished. That was a squish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that-
it
that
doesn't
sounded
like,
like a-
depending on the wish, it doesn't squish one person either. It squishes you, your like next closest person to you, the next closest person after that.
So it's a random dice of just like, oh, someone gets squished.
Yeah.
So,
You don't
that,
know who,
so like
but
that
someone.
squishing noise specifically made me think of like somebody just like turning into a raisin and dehydrating. Is that kind of like?
Well, it's literally like crushing a grape.
Oh, okay.
Oh, pleasant.
So like I would kind of right on the fruit at least.
Yeah, same ballpark, different hydration.
Exactly.
Excellent. I'll pay attention to 3 anime characters just because I like them a lot.
All right.
Number 1 is Ryoko Matoi from Kill la Kill.
Yep.
The ultimate rebellious teenager, just rebelling against just everyone, pretty much everything in the entirety of society.
Well, her society sucks.
and
it's not that
clothes.
hard.
Also rebelling against clothes.
Okay, she doesn't rebel against clothes. She hates her outfit. It's just it gives her power, so she has no choice.
Yes, but she also rebels against the people who make the outfits and wear the outfits, so clothes.
Dang, you're right.
Yeah. Madoka Kanama from Madoka Magica.
You triggered flashbacks and I don't like them.
I don't like them either. That's why I share them. Probably one of the strongest childs because she's magic. And also she did a lot of stuff to make sure no one has to go through turning into a giant monster / fighting giant monsters anymore.
Yeah, but like,
Should this show come with a spoiler warning, like just the Will's Fantasy Hour?
No, yes, maybe sometimes.
I feel like at the beginning of the show, at some point, maybe just it's like, by the way, spoilers for X, Y, and Z.
Oh,
Here's an
I
argument
said it.
here's an
Yes.
argument for that though. If you're our age and you haven't seen these animes, then you're not a true weeb.
Right. Also, what I just said that she's magical and no one has to turn into a magical monster. That could be like literally anything.
Any anime.
Any anime?
You could even be like, they also have a cat that helps them. That
Yes.
doesn't narrow it down.
Exactly. Does Sora count as a child?
I
From
think
Kingdom
in the-
Hearts?
Yeah, I
From
think he's
Kingdom
like
Hearts.
12
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
13 in the
He's
first
13.
game.
I looked. He's 14.
Okay,
By Kingdom Hearts 1, and then by
That-
358 over 2, he's 15.
that's still a kid.
Technically speaking, I don't like him.
You don't like Sora?
I don't like him, but I empathize with him.
Okay.
I understand him
My-
because
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I empathize with him because he is whiny, but also he's going on this weird adventure, and his expression is constantly, "What the heck is going on? I understand nothing." And I'm like, bro, honestly,
I mean, to be
I'm
fair,
right
if
there
I
with
was
you.
fighting like horrible nightmares of Mickey Mouse, I'd be confused half the time too.
Yeah.
I'd be
Think about
like,
that-
"Yo, what did I replace my allergy pills with, and what's the deal?"
Think about how that game starts with him. It's like, yeah, he's been having dreams, but then 2 days later, he's literally chucked into darkness, brought into a different world, and then people are like, no, here's a sword, you got to fight monsters. And he doesn't even have time to ask questions.
Yeah, it's not even a sword; it's a big metal key.
Hey, it's a key blade, it's a sword.
In the first one, there's literally only
Sounds
one
like a
thing
bludgeon
that
object
makes
more
it
than
look like
anything.
a sword, and you get it from the guy who wields the sword.
Is that literally
Yeah.
his title?
No, that's the second one. I know what you're talking about.
No. In the first one, Kingdom Hearts 1, you fight against Cloud Strife in the Hercules arena. And
Oh.
for beating him, you get the black chocobo.
I thought it was the metal chocobo.
That is probably what it is called.
It's still in the shape of a key, though.
No, it's mostly a sword.
It's in the shape of a key, but it's flatter and looks more like an actual blade than a usual key blade.
You get one in the second one as well. I forget his character's name, but he's from a Final Fantasy game.
Do you mean Squall Lionheart?
Maybe like the one-handed samurai guy.
Oh no, that's from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Auron.
Orin.
Yes.
But yeah, you get like a legitimate sword from that, basically.
Yes.
So
There's a lot of other children on here I could talk about. Dipper and Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls. They're 13.
Oh, you mean the
12.
child that fight literally the devil?
technically they're 12.
Yeah, technically they're 12. But I
like
could talk
almost
about
13.
Pokemon trainers just in general. They're like 10.
Hey, they're 10 years old. That means they're adults now.
Yeah, basically.
Also,
it's
just
great.
shout out to Pokemon trainers. It's like, hey, I might be 10 years old, but I have God in a small sphere that is under my command.
You have
Yeah.
God, how long have you been on your journey? For a day.
Yeah.
So I've been at this for like checks gameplay time. Yeah, about 12 hours.
Yeah. Or if you did that for any adult, it's like, I'm sorry, you want me to go out in the world and investigate monsters which can electrocute me to death, kill me, and some of which are snails made out of lava, which have a cannon temperature of 12,000 degrees Celsius, which is hotter than the sun. I'm just going to stay here and file my taxes.
You know, I've always thought it would be kind of interesting for like a more realistic iteration of Pokemon where it's like you need a license to have Pokemon, and like as you do gyms, you get to have higher level Pokemon because you now are licensed as a trainer to have more powerful stuff.
Technically, that's what the badges are supposed to do.
Yeah, so fun fact about gyms, you could technically go to any gym with any badge. They literally have Pokemon set up for you to fight based off the number of badges you have. They explain that in Origins a little.
Yeah, I understand that canonically. It would be cool if they actually did that in the games though, like a more open.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Sword and Shield is going to be a little bit more of an open world game rather than because like have you seen the gameplay? It's not like standard routes.
Yeah, no, that looks fun.
You can like straight up because like they even ran into a Machoke that was like level 47. They have like level 20 Pokemon in the trailer.
So can you like push over to Snorlax finally? No. It's like or just walk around the Snorlax.
Although they're English, so I assume they would use, C words to get it up. Just yell the C word at it constantly. Like, oi, oi,
Didn't they
get
say
up.
they're closer to Scottish?
Oh,
than
I
they are
want some
English?
chips.
Yeah.
Have you seen that meme where like the Pokemon trainer walks into the like some gym battle and the gym leader's like, oh look, she's so cute, and just she starts screaming at the gym leader and she just goes, oh no, she's Scottish.
She's offensively Scottish, right?
This has been fun. I like talking about children with you guys.
Oh god.
Please rephrase that. Please
Phrasing.
rephrase.
Okay, I like talking about children.
We are talking about fictional children, so it doesn't count.
Thank you. That doesn't involve us, so we can't all go to jail.
Yeah. Okay, what do you say we take a break where we rock out with our socks out?
No, you can't say that after saying I like talking about children. That's not appropriate.
What? My shoes are really tight. My feet smell. Okay, we're just gonna take a quick
please
commercial
cut
break.
music.
All right,
Go to break.
we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And you're listening to WNYO on 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. It's DJ William, and welcome back to Will's Fantasy Hour. How's everyone doing? Good?
Pretty good now that we have our shoes back on.
Excellent.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself. Okay. So, with the last couple of minutes we've got of the program here, I wanted to introduce a new segment. I was going to use an audio intro, but literally every time that I've tried to put this together, something has gone wrong. So I'm just going to fake it. This one is called, the new segment is a little something I like to call, What Did William Binge This Week?
Ooh.
Oh.
It's magic.
What old show did William binge? Which one is he gonna pick? Come on, everyone, listen now. If you don't like it, you can eat his sandwiches.
All right. So
It was gonna end at eat
I'd
his.
give that a 3 out of 10.
You know what? The point is to enjoy it myself.
That's
So,
fair.
Well,
There was
you just
gonna be
lost the
kazoo.
point for being selfish.
All right. Well, thank you.
2 out of 10.
Awesome. Cool. There was gonna be kazoos.
ooh, that
out of
would have added a few more points.
Exactly. See? If only I owned a kazoo. Anyway. So,
Bad pause.
yeah.
It's
So-
like Star Trek out of context. Smell. Yes.
So, the whole point of this segment is that there are a lot of programs out there, and I mean a lot. So, it seems like it's very difficult to get to all of them in a timely and orderly manner. So, what is a man supposed to do except grab a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper, sit in his room, cover himself with a blanket, and watch TV until his eyes bleed?
That sounds about correct.
It sounds about right.
Sounds unhealthy.
Don't
judge our otaku lifestyle.
Don't you judge me, Paul.
Fair enough, I guess.
Don't you look at me like that. Look at me, Paul. Look good, don't look at me. That's better. Okay. So, this is just an excuse for me to talk about shows that I've watched or I've watched a lot of, and these are ones that I've recently binged myself. Just to be clear, I'm qualifying a binge as something that no one person should be able to reasonably do in the amount of a couple of days. You got to watch it a lot.
Okay.
And
So, like, how many hours per day roughly would this consist? Would, like,
4 to 6.
okay, that sounds about
4 to
right.
6 hours a day?
Yeah. Also, I'm not counting shows that are like Netflix with 12 episodes a piece, because that's easy. You could totally knock that
So you're
out
talking
in, like-
stuff like watching all of Naruto in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I
All
would
of
never
One
do that.
Piece.
All of
One shot.
I mean, to be fair though, you can't actually watch all of Naruto. It's done. You can't watch all of One Piece. It's not done.
True.
all of Dragon Ball Z.
no, not done technically.
Not done yet?
No, Dragon Ball Z is done.
Okay, well, Dragon
Is
Ball
it?
Z's done, but
Yeah.
like the
Well,
Dragon Ball
Dragon
series
Ball's
is not
done. Z is done.
think-
GT is done.
I think
G2
Super's
was-
done too.
No, they're continuing later on though.
Yeah,
Are
I
they?
was gonna say it's been
okay.
away for a while.
I thought they changed like that weird like Dragon Ball Heroes or
That's
whatever.
just like a little like, hey, here's this while it's gone because we know that you're gonna beg for it to come back.
and
yeah.
they wanted to sell their game probably.
yeah, this is basically like, hey, shut up.
Aren't they making that Kakarot game though soon?
Hey?
It's coming out this year, I think.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Kakarot?
I could be wrong.
Kakarot.
Is that's I know that's like his real name.
No, that's his Saiyan
That-
name. His
that's
real
his
name is
slave
Goku.
name.
He wasn't a slave. What are you talking about?
I
He's
mean,
a slave
to be-
to society.
To be fair, the whole planet was conquered and low-key enslaved by Frieza. So,
Get a load of this society.
all
To be
right.
fair, the Saiyans weren't good people to begin with.
Right.
to be fair, that's correct. He's
yeah.
only a good person because he literally has brain damage, but that's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, for it to qualify for this binging segment, I need to watch at least 30 plus episodes. So stuff like Netflix's one series animes, like Kakegurui won't count. I know it has more than one season. I haven't finished the second season. I like it.
All right. Well, what did you binge?
Oh, I've binged Tough Puppy.
Oh no.
Oh,
I remember seeing a few
this is
episodes of
going
that,
to
and
be fun.
I remember seeing a few episodes, and they were always pretty amusing because they always like consistently each episode. I remember had like one actually really good joke at least.
Okay.
Hold me, Alec.
Okay, so for those who don't know why two of my co-hosts are cringing, allow me to explain. Tough Puppy was a show that originally premiered on Nickelodeon in the year 2008, I think. I'm not exactly sure. So, the main
Thank you.
star of this program was Jim Train. No,
Just say Spencer from iCarly.
Spencer from iCarly, otherwise known as Jerry Trainer. I think
Or
that was
Crazy
him.
Steve.
Or Crazy Steve from Drake and Josh. Not the same character.
which is an underrated show even to this day.
Drake and Josh, really? Underrated?
Underrated?
You think?
You ask people who are like younger than us, hey, have you ever seen Drake and Josh? They're like, what's that? And
It's not underrated. It's not appreciated. There's a difference between underrated and not being appreciated.
also like, but like, how often does the guy like bring up now today?
I mean, it's not underrated if people just haven't seen it. It's not being underrated. It's just people don't know about it
Underwatched.
anymore.
Because like, I
It's
still
less
reference
underrated,
it though,
more
but-
forgotten.
and that's a shame.
I never watched it, so
Die.
Right.
he's so mean to me.
A little. You know what? Yeah, he kind of is.
Just have right opinions.
right.
Yeah.
So, the whole premise for this show is, first of all, it's an anthropomorphic animal show, which should tell you a lot about what's going to be going on. But what happens is that our main dog, a character is a dog. His name is Dudley Puppy. He somehow managed to finish high school, never went to college, I don't think. Probably not, because he is unbelievably stupid. But honestly, little par for the course for when it comes to Nick protagonists. A lot of them not the smartest tools in the shed, not the sharpest knives in the crayon box, as it were.
Indeed.
I know there's a word for that, combining like analogies and stuff like that.
It's called stupidity.
It is, yes. It's like putting
Also-
I think it's called a mixed metaphor.
I know it actually is like a real word for it. One second, I'm gonna look it up. But you guys keep talking. I'll be like,
Don't
looking it
forget
up.
about Dudley, how he's a perfect mix between every single dog species there is, and goat.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Oh yeah, no. In
He's
the
a
first
perfect mix between
episode, they
every
do like a
dog
scan
species
of
and
him,
goat.
and they were like, he is the perfect combination of every breed known to man. He's got greyhound legs, German shepherd, strength and intelligence, and also he has the smelling capabilities of a bloodhound. And then he headbutts someone and he baws, and he's like, he's also got a dash of billy goat, which I really don't know how that's in there. He's an anomaly.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's just a very weird show in general. Starring next to Jerry Trainer as Dudley Puppy, we have Kitty Catswell in a cat suit, or what you would imagine a stereotypical secret agent to wear, with like the coat and like the popped collar and the gloves.
Black Widow. Early Black Widow.
Early Black Widow, yes. Not skin type Black Widow, different Black Widow. Right. That's the point I'm trying to make. So yeah, they work for a secret agency where they stop supervillains once a week, where they have a very revolving door policy where it comes to them, where it's like, okay, we stop the evil thing, you get timeout for 2 hours, and they're back out pretty much by the next time we see them. Although it could be that actually time has passed. We don't know. Time is very weird on this show. Time means nothing to a Nicktoon. There were literally 2 episodes where multiple years pass at once and no one pretends like anything happens. There's one where they lock them away, people away for actual years, like 3 years. And it's like, man, that were 3 years in prison's well spent. And it's like, I've taken this time to learn gardening, getting over my fear of women. And it's like, I learned how to juggle on a unicycle. And it's like, that's great. Good for all of you. There's another one where the main character has a hard time getting up and like ready for work and whatnot. Where it's like, don't miss the Christmas party tomorrow. And it's Will. And it's like, Merry Christmas. And they're like, it's spring. And it's like, what? How? How did this happen? There was one where he comes back and he's like, I'm totally here for Tuesday. You've been gone for a whole year. And they're like, what? Yeah. It's like, how are you gone for a whole year? And it's like, I don't know. I was chasing this ball down a hill and I got on a boat and I went on the boat and I went to this island nation called California and I became a movie star and I sold my life story. And I'm like, this is so weird. So weird.
I like how they include the fact that California was once misdrawn as an island off the coast of Americas once. It's like, because that's actually what happened once. They're like, oh, this is a big mass land between this river. Oh, so it's an island. It's like, no, it's still connected to the mainland. It's like, island.
Yeah. Then you have the chief who like helps things, but not really, because he's a cockroach. His name is Herbert Dombrowski. They just call him the chief because, yeah, that's no one would take you self-respect with the name Herbert.
Shout outs to everyone named Herbert, apparently.
We don't respect you. No shout out.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was like a super cool agent, but then he retired because he's very old and small. And he's just very weird. He doesn't know how to tell time.
Also, doesn't he have like the stereotypical like police chief mustache?
I don't know if he has a mustache. He's a cockroach.
I feel like it's something they do, but I haven't seen the show in a long time, so
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. He also has a bionic foot and short-term memory loss, and he likes dressing up in women's clothing.
Understandable.
Yes. There was also a point where he had like a somewhat homoerotic relationship with a fellow coworker that's played straight. Not like, like not played for laughs, played like, oh,
Yeah, like they're serious.
like
it's
serious,
it's not
like
a joke.
for serious. And it's like, well, this is interesting and new. And the last character I'm going to talk about is arguably the weirdest one in this entire show, Keswick. Where you might be asking yourself, what's his name? What kind of dog is he? Keswick and Keswick.
Yep.
The joke is that he is just an animal called a Keswick, where it's like he has webbed feet and gills, and he's just really clammy, and he looks like a dog, but he's not a dog. And also he has like a platypus, and he shoots poison quill barbs and spits acid. It's
You know what the reason why he was like that?
because he's from an alternate dimension.
No, because
No, he's actually from an alternate dimension.
well, I'm saying like the real reason.
The real reason.
The artist, the famous guy, whoever his name is.
Butch Hartman?
Yeah. he had no idea what like species to settle on Keswick. He was just like, I don't know, just Keswick. I made him for jokes. There was even an episode where like Keswick cloned Keswick, and then he killed the clone, or the clone killed him. You never know. And he was like, it doesn't matter. There can only be one Keswick.
Yes. Yeah, it's also implied that he came from an alternate dimension of other Keswicks, and by leaving said dimension, it collapsed in on itself. But he somehow decided to take his parents and his brother-in-law, who he does not have a good relationship with, so canon is weird.
I'd assume he wouldn't have a good relationship with his brother-in-law. I mean, he just collapsed his entire universe. That's like definitely like a big like. I wouldn't really want to be like talking to my brother-in-law if he did that and then decide to spare me. Just be like, oh yes, you brought me in. After all, you just destroyed my home. I spent years doing my thing, and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna leave, and it collapses. I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah. The entire show, how can I put this gently? It's like watching a really dumb dog walk into a wall. 9 times out of 10, it's pretty funny.
That's literally an episode.
Yes.
I know what you're referring. That's literally an episode where he keeps walking into walls.
It's, yeah, that's the best metaphor that I can use for it. If you look at it, it's cute and it's funny. Sometimes you're going to be a little upset. It's like, my God, how can you possibly be this stupid? But then it comes back around to you and it's funny again, which is incredible. Butch Hartman's shows, 90% of the time, are very good. You know, Fairly Odd Parents was very good. This is very good. Danny Phantom was very good. Bunsen and the Beast is absolute pile of dog manure.
I've never heard of it.
You are better off for it.
It didn't last long.
It did not last long, and neither did Butch Hartman.
Yeah.
After that,
Well, because it was like, here's my next big character, and it failed miserably.
yeah, he's wanted to do that for a while, and also, he's very weird. Butch Hartman, weirdly religious.
Huh.
Religion makes you weird?
I'm not saying religion makes you weird. I'm saying religion can make you do weird things. Very off topic. Anyways, so I watched a lot of it. I watched the first 2 seasons. Do you know how many seasons there are of this? 3. Do you want to know how many episodes I've watched?
Probably around like 48.
160.
Wow, those are long seasons.
They're short episodes, though.
Well, they're short episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
They're like 15-minute episodes.
So, yeah, technically there's 15-minute episodes, half-hour blocks. And there's only 1 2-part episode I haven't seen yet because I've been getting it through a streaming site and it was not there. It says the title, but the episode is completely different. And I'm not going to Amazon and paying them $3 to watch this episode. I will literally die first.
You could Google it.
I could Google it. I tried Googling it, honestly. No results.
Oh, then I have a website for you.
Is it watchcartoons.tv? Because that's what I've been using.
Oh, yeah. Then that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Because it's usually pretty solid.
No, that's a solid site, honestly. You get cartoons, movies, you get subbed and dubbed anime,
Yeah, but maybe we should
relatively recent
Not
stuff.
that we condone using this site.
I'm
you
not,
know.
I'm not
It's-
calling to action or anything. What I am saying is that I was able to watch the terrible 4Kids dub of Eon Kid.
Excuse me, what?
Wait, is there a good dub of Eon Kid?
No, well, if there is, I can't find
Oh, wasn't that show with this weird like homeless child gets a magic robot glove or something?
it. That's exactly the one.
I remember that happened and that existed, but that's about it. I never watched it.
Yeah, no. I remember that from back in the early to late 2000s when the Kids WB was a thing, and that's where Johnny Test was, and it should have stayed there.
There was a block where they had Eon Kid, Johnny Test, and a show where Scooby-Doo and Shaggy ate these scientific...
Shaggy and
snacks.
Scooby-Doo get a clue, and they have
Yeah.
to fight a super spy agency. I remember that.
But they get superpowers.
No, Scooby exclusively gets superpowers.
Nah,
Shaggy does nothing.
Shaggy eats some.
No, I don't really remember them
I am
doing that.
sure, because they both eat Scooby snacks.
The origin of Ultra Instinct Shaggy revealed.
Huh. That would be it, yeah. That's also, although to be fair, that's also where I first saw the Batman, and for a Batman animated series, pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the Batman animated series, but like
It's not as good as Batman the animated
That's
series.
what I meant, yeah.
Or the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, which followed soon after, and they were technically the same series.
I liked the Batman just because like it was up to date more.
yeah, like it
Yeah.
was good, but I don't think it was as good as Batman the animated series.
Right. But it's definitely better
because there were
than...
more rules and they couldn't be as violent.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is better than Beware the Batman.
Oh yeah, that.
The entirely CG animated Batman series.
When you said "Beware the Batman," the first thing that came to mind, because we were talking about Pokemon earlier, just a big pink bear and a Batman cowl. I was like, "Yo!"
Oh, that sounds amazing.
So
Oh,
Halloween
I'd
costume?
so watch that. Yeah. But the Batman was really... I might talk about that one of those days. There's 4 seasons, 2 by himself. The third one when they introduced Barbara Gordon, and then they introduced Robin. Oh, no, wait, there were 5. First 2 was
Because there are more than you think.
there are more than I think. There might have been 6.
It's weird because like I thought it was like a 1-season thing.
No.
And then I found out not only is it an older show,
2
it got
seasons.
a lot of seasons.
But Barbara Gordon in the 3rd season, Robin in the 4th, and then the Justice League in the 5th.
And this is the Batman, right?
The Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that was just a weird show.
It was. I will fully admit that. But you got Tom Kenny to play the Penguin. That's pretty cool. You also got a Riddler who was so weird.
Like weird,
Like goth.
Yeah.
Imagine goth Riddler, where he had like lip makeup. So weird.
yeah. Also, we had like dreadlock Joker. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, no, that was...
At least that's what I always kind of imagined his hairstyle being.
You know, it is a little more reasonable. I'm
Plus,
gonna be
I
honest
liked
with
what they did with Clayman.
you. Oh, yeah, Clayface.
That was pretty cool.
Ethan Bennett, the man who like was good and then now he's evil. And Clay.
And then they got the real Clayface.
And then he whitewashed him. I'm only saying that because he was African American, and then when he turned to Clay, he was like white, and I'm like,
well,
They literally
it's also a shame
whitewashed.
like how they referenced Solomon Grundy in that one
oh yeah,
because it was Clayface.
yes,
And then there's like at the end of the episode, oh no, Solomon Grundy is real.
yeah, supernatural stuff. I mean, Dracula's real.
That was a good movie.
Oh yeah, that
Batman fought Dracula.
Batman versus Dracula.
Look
that
here,
movie was
Dracula,
intense.
you nerd. Where's my money?
That's an actual comic.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what you. I remember seeing that when it first came out. That was a good movie. It had me on my like this edge of my seat.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Yeah, because right till the end, you honestly thought, oh, maybe Dracula's gonna kill Batman.
Yeah, no, I mean it's Dracula. You know, he's supernatural.
Also, in that movie, they did not shy away from blood.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
They straight up fought in a blood bank.
Because it was a TV movie, and they could do that.
Also, I just want to throw out, because we're talking about Batman animated series, Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond was good.
I thought it was fun.
It was good, but I didn't like how like the only way you could continue it is to the comics, like it was a direct relationship. And it was weird because they have like short comics they did that it's hard to find. Like if you read the new Batman Beyond stuff, it's hard to find like where it last left off.
Man,
okay.
there's so many animated versions of Batman out there. Someone should really go through a bunch of them and figure out which ones are the best and which ones are not worth looking at.
Maybe if someone was to, I don't know, binge them over the next few weeks, he'd be able to do that.
Almost as if he's creating a topic for his next
Almost
session.
as if maybe I am, but you're going to have to wait till next week to find out. All right, so 9 o'clock, we got to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful night. Guys, it's always lovely to have you in here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
We are the forever guests.
Yes,
Yay.
yes, you are. So we've got a little while until we can go. Stay tuned for the next A train, which is from 9 to 11, I think. And enjoy your night. Good night, everybody. And remember, stay fantastic.